Yeah. So we had kind of left off at thinking about why Baba is saying that, fear and greed are not values, and therefore they cannot be evaluated. Therefore, we need something that can actually be evaluated. And so we were wondering why he's saying this. Why is fear and greed not really a value? Why can't they be evaluated? So yeah, and did you think about this or any ideas on this besides what we were talking about yesterday?
I haven't got anything more at the moment.
Okay. Manju
Krishna, my God, from here last evening till now, I've been like in a hole, except the time I slept.
Not enough time. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's give it some time. If you think about it, let's leave it open-ended then. If you do think about it or want to talk about it at any point, we can reopen this. But it's something interesting to think about, I think. Why he's saying this. I think yesterday we completed the 12th video of the series, and that was all about values and justice.
Only 12?
Huh?
You've done only 12?
We've done only 12, yeah.
From day one, no.
Yeah.
No, Krishna, you've done so many more.
No, 12th video.
Acha, but classes many, but how many videos are there?
17 as far as I remember.
Okay, then okay, quite a bit now.
Yeah. And some of them are longer than others. So yeah, that one was about values and justice. And we've completed that at that note of why it's important to be able to achieve justice, how justice is the real measure of development in humans, and how up till now we have been unable to rid ourselves of this mirage of fear and greed. We keep functioning on the basis of fears and greeds, and we keep kind of convincing each other and coming to agreements based on these sorts of bases, which are very fickle and therefore temporary, because they're not anything real, nothing of any value actually. They're nothing that can be evaluated universally by all of us, and therefore be fixed and stabilized. So we need to be able to identify relationships, their purposes, and the values inherent in them, live according to those values. And in that way, we will be able to evaluate the values being lived. And on that very solid basis, we will be able to mutually feel fulfilled. And that is what justice is. So that is what we had ended at last time. Today we'll start this section called Sarvabhaum Vyavastha. This means universal order. Sarvabhaum means all over the planet, and Vyavastha is order or system. So a universal system.
बनता है ये इस ढंग से संबंध का आधार प्रयोजन के आधार। प्रयोजन क्या चीज है भाई? मानव प्रयोजन, ये समाधान, समृद्धि, अभय, सहअस्तित्व।
So in this way, the basis of relationships are purposes. And what is the purpose? What are the purposes for human beings? They are resolution, prosperity, fearlessness, and coexistence. These are the 4 goals of universal goals for all humans and for all of humankind together. This is the 4-point thing. First we want resolution, then prosperity, then fearlessness in society, and then coexistence on the planet.
उसके लिए प्रक्रिया क्या है? व्यवस्था में जीना.
And what is the procedure for this? It is to live in order, live in orderliness, or live systematically.
व्यवस्था में जीने का क्या मतलब है? तो शिक्षा संस्कार में भागीदारी करना, और न्याय सुरक्षा में भागीदारी करना, उत्पादन कार्य में भागीदारी करना, विनिमय कोष में भागीदारी करना, स्वास्थ्य संयम में भागीदारी करना.
And what does it mean to live in order? Well, what it means is to participate in the system of education and enculturation, to participate in the protection of justice, to participate in production work, to participate in healthcare, and health, balance of health, and to participate in the Vinimay courses, the exchange or trade course क्या कहते हैं? The organization that participates in basically trading, because everyone is producing something or the other, and then when we want to exchange with each other, there needs to be some system that we have that is shared, that we all agree upon, on the basis of which we will exchange with one another. So participate in that sort of exchange. So participating in these 5 ways is how we live in order, because all humans, all families, all societies need to participate in all of these processes, which was education and enculturation, justice, the preservation of justice, or production work, healthcare, and exchange. All of us need to participate in this.
ये पांचों आयामों में भागीदारी करना ही समग्र व्यवस्था में भागीदारी का मतलब है.
To participate in all 5 of these dimensions is itself the meaning of participating in the larger order, the larger system.
इस विधि से हम माने परिवार में हम व्यवस्था के रूप में जीते हैं, फलस्वरूप समाधान समृद्धि मिलती है, और ये 5 आयाम में मिलने से सार्वभौम व्यवस्था में भागीदारी हो जाता है.
Rishta, yeah, like fearlessness or resolution, prosperity, and except for coexistence, or these 3, and which is the 4th one I missed out? It says coexistence.
Coexistence is the 4th one.
No, okay, 4 only, so coexistence. So except for coexistence, everything is for yourself only. If you're a family, for you and your family. If you're single or alone, or you think you're alone, then just for yourself.
No, actually, these 4 are at 4 different levels. So resolution will happen in the individual, right? Because it's a state of internal clarity. Prosperity happens at the level of family. You cannot be a prosperous individual, because prosperity is a state of feeling that I have more than I need, more than I require. That's a state of prosperity or state of abundance. But our needs are only definite when we are part of a family unit. As an individual, I may need just maybe like, 2 bits of roti a day, or another day if I fall sick, I might need something else completely. Maybe I can, as an individual, I can choose to wake up, sleep at any time, or exercise at any time, or live anywhere at any moment. It's only when we're living as a family that our needs really get defined. That's when it gets really definite. And until our needs are definite, until they're defined, we cannot feel secure, because then until they're definite, we cannot identify them. We can only identify anything when something is definite. So when we are living as a family, that means when we are taking care of the fact that, okay, right now and at all times, there will be multiple generations in my immediate unit that I'm calling family. And they will have these sorts of very definite requirements that come with different stages in life. And then, the particular needs also. Okay, this person's body is like that, that person's body is like that, their preference is this. And on that basis, you can come up with a broad, definite identification of your overall needs. We need this much food in a year, this much clothing in a year, this much fuel, say, in a year, this sort of a house, this big of a house we will need in this place, or these many houses maybe, who knows. We can all come up with an identified, limited and definite set of requirements only when we think in terms of a definite unit of a group of people, which we're calling family. And it is only when we have identified that definite limit of our needs that we can then work to exceed our production, so that now we know that I am producing, or I am capable of producing, or rather we as a family are capable of producing more than our requirements, because we know our requirements. Until I know my requirements, I can never know if I've produced more than my requirements. So prosperity is always at the level of the family. And then fearlessness is only at the level of the society. It is when several such prosperous families live together that we can be fearless with one another. And a prosperous family is made up of resolved individuals. Because until you are resolved, until you have full understanding, you yourself will not be able to see what your needs are in that family. Right? It's only resolved individuals make up a prosperous family. Several prosperous families can make up a fearless society, or a society full of peace and confidence and trust in one another. And several such communities that are peaceful and trustworthy come together to make a planet which is in complete harmony, in complete coexistence. So it is not just at the level of the individual.
Okay. All right.
And rewind.
माने परिवार में हम व्यवस्था के रूप में जीते हैं, फलस्वरूप समाधान सब हम माने परिवार में हम मतलब इस विधि से हम माने परिवार में हम व्यवस्था के रूप में जीते हैं, फलस्वरूप समाधान समृद्धि मिलती है.
So in this way, we are able to live as an orderly system within the family, and consequently we achieve resolution and prosperity.
और ये पांच आयाम में मिलने से सार्वभौम व्यवस्था में भागीदारी हो जाता है.
And then, in joining with these 5 dimensions that were just mentioned, we are able to participate in the universal order as well. So, you start with the family, achieve resolution and prosperity within the family, and such a family is capable of participating in all these 5 dimensions, which were education, justice, production, healthcare, and exchange. And in doing that, you are already participating in the universal order.
इस ढंग से मनुष्य की एक अथक खुशहाली, अथक उत्सव का अटूट एक साहस, अटूट एक प्रवृत्ति, भी अटूट एक उमंग निरंतर सबके लिए सुगम होता जाता है.
And in this way, this sort of tireless happiness, tireless, oh, I've forgotten all these words he said. Lots of good things.
उत्सव का इस ढंग से मनुष्य की एक अथक खुशहाली, अथक उत्सव का अटूट एक
a tireless happiness, a tireless celebration, an unending
एक साहस, अटूट एक प्रवृत्ति, भी अटूट एक उमंग निरंतर सब
unending courage and unending this tendency, this unending
अटूट एक प्रवृत्ति, भी अटूट एक उमंग निरंतर सबके लिए सुगम होता जाता है.
umang. I'm not sure what umang really means. Oh, yeah, some sort of this unending hopefulness, an unending overflowing, overjoyousness, eternally becomes accessible to all of humankind.
तो ये समझदार परिवार मानव के मतलब ऐसा निकलता है.
So in this way, a knowledgeable family of human beings turns out to be of this kind.
तो अब समाधान के बाद, ये जो न्याय के बाद आता है धर्म। धर्म का मतलब ही ये होता है जो बोध होने वाली बात आता है बुद्धि में।
So now, after justice comes dharma. Now, up till now, we had discussed justice, right? Which is mutual fulfillment among human beings in living out their relationship. Why? Because we are able to identify the relationship properly and live out the inherent values properly, and both are able to see and evaluate that these values have been lived out. That is justice. That is an interpersonal well-being among human beings. So after this justice, we've already started talking about it a little bit. What we are talking about is dharma.
धर्म। धर्म का मतलब ही ये होता है जो बोध होने वाली बात आता है बुद्धि में बोध होता है समाधान।
So dharma itself means it refers to that which gets that which you are able to comprehend in one's buddhi. And what one comprehends in one's buddhi is resolution. So dharma is an age-old word used in the Indic tradition. And what it really refers to, what it has always referred to is like the cosmic order, the cosmic law. And whatever that cosmic law referred to in different philosophies, over here, dharma refers to that property. It refers to orderliness, basically. That there is an order or a system in existence, and that system, because it exists, therefore we can understand it. And when we understand that system, that understanding of the existential system itself leads to a state of resolution in us, because we see in any situation what can be done, where it lies in that larger system. And so what needs to be done and how it needs to be done and why it needs to be done. So that is why a comprehension of the existential order, the existential system, leads to a state of resolution in us. That order and that resolution itself is what is being called dharma over here in Madhyas Darshan.
जो समाधान का मतलब भी मानव धर्म है।
So resolution itself means human dharma or human orderliness. This is the order of human, which is resolution.
व्यवस्था में जीना मानव धर्म है।
Living in order is the human dharma, is the human order.
व्यवस्था में जब जब जीता है आदमी तब तब आदमी समाधानित रहता है।
Whenever humans live in order, at all those moments, they remain resolved.
अव्यवस्था में जीता है तब तब वो समाधान के स्थान पर समस्या से ग्रसित हो जाता है।
When we live in disorder, then instead of resolution, we become ridden with problems instead of resolution. So instead of solutions, then we have problems. Whenever we are living outside of order, that is whenever we are living in disorder.
ये बात सबको समझ में आता है।
This is something that everyone understands.
इस
can understand.
क्रम में हम समाधान चाहते हैं या समाधान आप समस्या चाहते हैं, हर व्यक्ति से हम सर्वे कर सकते हैं।
And in this sequence, we can survey across. We can ask every person and survey whether they would like resolution or if they would prefer problems.
हर परीक्षण, निरीक्षण, सर्वेक्षण में हम इन तथ्यों को पाते हैं मानव के साथ।
In all examinations, studies and surveys, we find this fact among humans.
तो हर मनुष्य समाधान के प्यासे है।
That each human being thirsts for resolution?
समाधान के प्यासे क्यों हैं, इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा।
Why do we thirst for resolution? A little bit on that.
आपके सम्मुख प्रस्तुति।
I will present before you.
मानव धर्म समाधान के समान है।
The human dharma or the human order is equal to or is resolution.
समाधान बराबर सुख, मानव
And resolution equals happiness.
सुख धर्मी है।
So human beings are sukh dharmi. That means the dharma of humans is happiness.
समस्या बराबर दुख, समस्या को आदमी चाहता नहीं।
Problems equal unhappiness, and human beings do not wish for problems.
तो भय और प्रलोभन के साथ समस्या सदा सदा बना रहता है।
Now, with fear and greed, we are eternally ridden with problems.
और समाधान तो होते ही नहीं भय और प्रलोभन के साथ।
And of course, no resolution ever happens with fear and greed.
हम सोचते हैं भय और प्रलोभन के साथ समाधानित हो जाए, ऐसा सारा संसार तुला हुआ है।
We believe or we hope that we may find some resolution through fear and greed. This is what the whole world is hoping for or moving towards or working towards.
विज्ञान संसार भी तुला हुआ है और ज्ञान संसार भी तुला है, सभी इसी में।
The scientific world is also committed to this, and the spiritual world is also committed to this.
तुले
Everyone has been working in this direction.
बहुत हजारों वर्षों की इतिहास में भय और प्रलोभन ही एक परिवार के गठन के मूल में, और व्यक्ति भी भय और प्रलोभन से भरा हुआ ये दिखाई पड़ती है।
And in this history of thousands of years of humankind, we see that even the formation of families has been on the basis of fear and greed, and even individuals are completely ridden with fear and greed.
इसके आधार पर, भय और प्रलोभन के आधार पर हम व्यवस्था को समीकरण करने के लिए तमाम एक प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रमों को आज भी संपादित करते हैं। जब
And on the basis of this very fear and greed, we try to we try to organize various systems.
तमाम एक आधार पर हम व्यवस्था को समीकरण करने के लिए तमाम एक प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रमों को आज भी संपादित करते हैं।
We run various programs and trainings to come up with systems and to run systems that are all based on the same fear and greed. So, our entire political systems are being run, or our entire nations are being run on fear and greed. Whatever sector you take, everything is being run on the basis of fear and greed. And we are running so many programs to keep these systems functioning, and so many trainings to keep those programs for these systems running, all on the basis of fear and greed.
जबकि व्यवस्था नाम की चीज हो नहीं पाता।
Whereas no such thing as order is ever really achieved.
हर जगह में जो कुछ भी एक बार भय के साथ प्रलोभन के साथ भय, एक कहीं ना कहीं ये काम चलाओ विधि से स्वीकार भी लिया, उसी क्षण से वो टूटने के लिए कार्यक्रम शुरू हो ही जाता है।
wherever we come up with systems where we somehow have accepted fear with greed or greed with fear to just kind of make do for the time being, even from that very moment itself, we have prepared ourselves for the breakdown of that system. He's saying basically not even a little drop of fear and greed can be sustainable in any way. As soon as you allow for fear and greed, even if in our heads we're thinking this is just as a compromise, this is just because we don't have any other option for this moment, for the time being, and we accept fear and greed as a compulsion for the moment, from that, with just even that much of an inroad made by fear and greed, we have paved the way for the breakdown of whatever it is we are working towards. No system can last with even a little bit of fear and greed governing it.
टूटते टूटते एक दिन पुनः भय और प्रलोभन से कि झगड़ा शुरू हो गया, झगड़ा क्रम शुरू हो ही जाता है। टूटते टूटते एक दिन पुनः भय और प्रलोभन से कि झगड़ा शुरू हो गया, झगड़ा शुरू हो गया तो पुनः उसको मिलाने की कार्यक्रम।
And when things start to break down, then again some sort of conflict, some fight breaks out. And in order to resolve that fight, then once again we employ more fear, more greed.
इस ढंग से राजी गाजी की कथा बहुत सुदूर विगत से चले आ रही है।
In this way, this tale of Raji Gaji, I wish I knew a better word, this tale of convincing and acceptance has been going on and on for very, very long, for all of our history.
इसके आधार पर कोई व्यवस्था अभी तक हुआ नहीं, ना कोई व्यवस्था होने वाला नहीं। अब
And there has never been any order on this basis, and nor can there ever be any order that is formed on this basis of fear and greed leading to breakdown, leading to fights, leading to more employment of fear and greed, again paving the way for eventual breakdown. So that nothing, no order can ever really be formed through this.
किया जाए वाला बात आता है, उसका उत्तर मूल्य और मूल्यांकन के आधार पर ही व्यवस्था।
So what then, when the question arises on what should be done instead, then the answer to that is only that there should be value and evaluation. Now we will notice that when we were talking about value and evaluation in the previous video, we were talking about values and evaluation for mutual fulfillment. That is, we need values and evaluation, that is justice, just for us to feel good in our own individual interpersonal situation. But here he is saying that this very same value and evaluation is also necessary to keep any system running. This is not personal, this is not individual, this is not even interpersonal. This is about an organizational matter. This is a systemic matter. Even for any system to run, what we require is the same values and evaluation that was talked about in interpersonal relationships.
होगी, परिवार व्यवस्था भी उसी आधार पर होगी, प्रौद्योगिकी व्यवस्था होगी, परिवार व्यवस्था भी उसी आधार पर होगी, प्रौद्योगिकी व्यवस्था भी इसी आधार पर होगी, प्रशासनिक शासनिक व्यवस्था भी इसी आधार पर होगी।
So all orders, all systems will be on the basis of value and evaluation. The family system will also be on this basis. The industrial system or the production system will also be running on this very basis. Then the prashasnik and shasnik, the political system will also run on this very same basis of values and evaluation.
और माने कोई ऐसा जगह नहीं जिसमें ये मूल्य और मूल्यांकन से व्यवस्था ना हो सके। हर
And then what I mean to say is that there is no system, there is no realm in which a system cannot, the system is not being run on the basis of values and evaluation. Basically, there is no space or no realm in which the system cannot be formed on the basis of values and evaluation.
परिस्थितियों में व्यवस्था होगी। व्यवस्था का मतलब कन से व्यवस्था ना हो सके, हर परिस्थितियों में व्यवस्था होगी।
There will be order in every circumstance on this basis.
व्यवस्था का मतलब यही है तो मनुष्य अपने प्रामाणिकता को प्रस्तुत कर सके और व्यवस्था में भागीदारी कर सके और न्याय को निर्वाह कर सके।
So the meaning of order is simply that humans humans become capable of presenting their evidence. Humans become capable of participating in the larger order, and humans become capable of living out justice. So when these three are being met, that's what he's calling an order. So we should be, whatever it is that we want to evidence as individuals, we should have the scope to be able to evidence that. We should be able to participate. So we're evidencing ourselves, but we also should be able to participate in the larger order. And then we should also be able to live out justice with one another. That is what a real system would be.
इन तीन बातों पर निर्भर है।
So an order is dependent on these 3 points.
तो इन तीनों बात इसी से आती है तो न्याय धर्म सत्य पूर्वक ही इन तीनों बात पूरा हो पाता है। हर मनुष्य इसमें निर्वाह करने में समर्थ है।
So these 3 points are only possible through justice, dharma or order, and truth. And all human beings are capable of what did he say exactly?
तीनों बात इसी से आती है तो न्याय धर्म सत्य पूर्वक ही इन तीनों बात पूरा हो पाता है।
It is only through justice, order, and truth that these 3 can be fulfilled.
हर मनुष्य इसमें निर्वाह करने में समर्थ है।
And each human being is capable of living this out.
और न्यायपूर्वक जीना हर व्यक्ति चाहता है, वो इसकी पूरा संभावना है।
And all human beings already wish to live with justice, and therefore there is full possibility of this. So he's saying all human beings are capable of it, all human beings naturally desire it, and therefore there is full possibility of all human beings achieving justice, order, and truth, which is justice is to live harmoniously and in a mutually fulfilling manner in our interpersonal relationships. Order is to be able to ascertain the fact that we all at all times are able to live out this justice, to evidence whatever it is we want to evidence, and to participate in the larger order. And truth itself means to evidence ourselves, actually. Evidence coexistence. That is what truth is.
दूसरा मुद्दा समाधान के साथ जीने की बात आता है। व्यवस्था में जीना हर व्यक्ति चाहता है, व्यवस्था को सुगम बनाना हमारा काम है।
The second point after justice is to be able to live in order. Every human being wishes to live in order.
व्यवस्था में जीना हर व्यक्ति चाहता है, व्यवस्था को सुगम बनाना हमारा काम है।
But making it easy to making an accessible and livable system is our job. So all human beings already wish to live in order, but it is our work, the work before us is to prepare such a system which is easily accessible to everyone.
वे सुगम कैसे होते हैं? समझदारी को और लोकव्यापीकरण विधि से।
But how does an order become easily accessible? It happens through the lokvyapikaran, the publicization of understanding. Basically, the spread of education or the spread of understanding is what makes living in orderliness also accessible to everyone, because we are able to live in order only on the basis of understanding.
तो हर परिवार में, हर व्यक्ति में, हर बच्चों में समझदारी का सूत्र और व्याख्या प्रवेश होने की व्यवस्था देना ही शिक्षा संस्कार का मतलब है।
So in each family, in each individual, in each child, for us to be able to, imbue every, family, every individual, and every family, every individual, every child with the principle and the explanation and elaboration of understanding is itself the generalization.
प्रवेश होने की व्यवस्था देना ही शिक्षा संस्कार का मतलब है.
Is itself the purpose or the significance of the educational and enculturation system. So what does it mean by education system? He always calls it education and enculturation. I'm just using enculturation for sanskar loosely. This system of education and enculturation, its whole purpose is to imbue each family in the world, each individual, each child with the principles of understanding and with the elaboration of understanding. Basically, to allow everyone, every human being to be able to understand in the same way. That is the purpose, that is the objective and the meaning and significance of the education system. That is what it's supposed to be doing.
ऐसे सार्थक शिक्षा के लिए आप हमको कटिबद्ध होना एक आवश्यकता ही है.
And it is a natural necessity for you and I to become committed, to become dedicated towards building such a meaningful education system.
और हम कटिबद्ध ही हैं.
And I am dedicated towards that.
हम इसके मुद्दे में और कुछ आपके सम्मुख रखना चाहते हैं.
Now regarding this, I would like to present some more things before you. I think it's almost time. We'll pause here. 1 minute left. Anything you'd like to say or ask before we close for today?
I don't know. I'm feeling it's a bit idealistic, the whole thing. Cannot two good people have different views? They may be fearlessly living in the right way, the way, it's proposed, but their views may differ. So it may seem unjust to one and just to one. And, these differences, I think, how is it possible that everybody will think?
Yeah. So I think it's useful to think about why differences emerge in the first place. What leads to our differences in opinion? If we all have the same purpose, if we all have the same need, and justice itself means that we're both fulfilled, then what would lead to
Same
differences?
need, no. Some people may need more. Like say in a family, there are two brothers. One brother is a bigger hog, the other one is not such a big hog.
A bigger what?
Hog.
Hog. So then that if we're hogging, that means we're running on the basis of greed, the word itself. I mean, someone...
Okay, one has a bigger appetite.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
As a certain bodily requirements differ.
Maybe, yeah. We can say that, but the other person may not think so. He'll say, no, why are you eating? We have limited grains in the house or whatever. But they're all going to have 1 cup of each. So you have to have 1 cup. And he's
right there.
Yeah,
so right there is neither resolution nor prosperity nor justice. Why? Because if there was prosperity, if there was justice, the brother would not be imposing on the other brother. He would be wondering, why does my brother need more food? Instead of saying, no, you shouldn't eat more food, right? Because imposition itself is unjust. It is not acceptable to anyone. So, sabse pehle, the brother here does not care about justice if he is imposing. Then there is no resolution because there is no understanding. Forget about caring and imposing about the brother. The second brother is not able to understand that bodily differences mean that some people will have larger appetites than others. That is a basic thing that you can understand through education, right? You can understand that, I can understand that. We all tend to understand that once we have understood basic human biology. So there's this absence of justice and there's an absence of resolution. And then there is also an absence of prosperity. Why is there such limited food in the family? When one brother needs so much more, then why has the family not worked more to produce enough to accommodate even the other brother's needs? That is why prosperity is also necessary. And anyone who is resolved and committed to justice will see that it is absolutely necessary to be producing more than our requirements, more than all of our requirements. In that way, this can be resolved. I mean, this won't be a problem in a resolved and just family, no?
I don't know. You know, can't say. There's so many other little things that happen, no? That can happen in a family. Like, say, one brother is not well. He's just got some problem and he can't work. I mean, I know about many such cases. So,
Yeah.
and he seems, but we don't know really whether he can't work or he's lazy and doesn't want to work, or is it his physical situation, mental situation. So there's a tug of war because he's not working, but he's consuming, for example. So, okay, never mind. You don't mind, suppose you don't mind them consuming or whatever. But at the same time, he wants everything else to be equal. So the human nature doesn't permit that, I think, no?
What are you saying? I didn't get that last bit.
So, but in every other way, he wants all the other things equally.
Of course he does. I mean, just because you are physically handicapped for some reason.
Or lazy, we don't know what it is.
Whatever it may be. Either way, it doesn't stop you from wanting to be treated with justice, to be treated with respect and dignity, right? Okay. No matter how, even the biggest criminal does not wish to be insulted. Why? Because this need for justice is universal in us. Our inability to live.
He will not be treated respectfully. No, that is also part of the truth.
No, of course.
Maybe if he's a criminal, if you classified him as a criminal, then you know very well he will not be treated with respect.
That is up to the person who is treating him. Like Baba was saying in one of the previous videos, that he comes across so many different types of people, but he feels he is able to.
Sorry.
He's saying he comes across so many different types of people, but for each such person, he finds in himself the capability to treat them with respect and to treat them with trust and establish trust between them. And that allows that person also to normalize. Because, it's like, why would someone be committing crimes? If we can understand that, then we can be understanding of them and treat them as such. Of course, it requires a lot of capacity on our part. And the example you are giving is much easier. It's not that someone's a criminal. That's when a small problem has been ignored for a whole lifetime that someone turns into a criminal. Before that, they might just be lazy, or they might just be a little, they have other priorities. That's why they're not involved in things that they're supposed to be doing. And why are we lazy, and why do we have wrong priorities? All of that is also thanks to lack of education. When we don't have anyone to educate us in what our own needs are and what we desire for ourselves and therefore for others also, that is when we start looking at options that will lead us only to dead ends, such as crimes and laziness and, mistakes, even wars. So when you are able to see this person, the person who is committing mistakes or crimes or wars, in that light, then you are able to live in a just way with them also. Then you are able to give them respect as well. And you're able to treat them with, some sort of trust as well, because you recognize what is complete in them and also recognize what is lacking and why it is lacking. So you don't judge them, you don't dismiss them for that. You understand them and help them and compliment them. That's all, and that we already do that in our families to some extent. Sometimes some glimpses of that we already see. We say, okay, this sibling of mine, they have a short temper, that's why I'll deal with them in this way. I'll try to explain it in a nicer way. I'll be careful of not stepping on their triggers when I'm talking about something. We're able to do that already for people that we care about and that we wish to understand and be nice to, right? So it's just an expansion of that scope. based on the increase in our own understanding. That is how we can all come to the same page. That is how we can all live together in harmony. We just don't do that. We don't prioritize that. We don't educate each other in that.
Okay.
Something to think about, I suppose. It's a longer inquiry. So, okay, let's pause here. And tomorrow is Friday, no? So we'll meet tomorrow then.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.